Yes. If she never calls or texts you first, it's not just her nature, it's a deliberate decision. And the way you respond to that decision determines whether she'll ever respect you or slowly start to erase you from her thoughts. Welcome back to Brainifyon. Today, we're diving deep into what you should actually do when a woman never takes the first step to reach out. Stick with me, because every principle I'm about to share is designed to protect three things: your peace, your pride, and your power. First, stop rewarding her silence. This is where most men get trapped. When a woman doesn't text first, they panic. They wait, hoping she'll message them. But when she doesn't, they jump in to fill the gap. You send that good morning text. You ask how her day's going. You call, even when she never calls you. You convince yourself that consistency will eventually make her see your worth. But it doesn't work that way. Every time you respond to her silence with effort, you send her a message that she doesn't need to do anything to keep your attention. You're teaching her that your time and energy are always available, even when she gives you nothing in return. It's simple psychology. People don't appreciate what they don't earn. Think of it like this. If you had a friend who never pays for coffee, but you buy him one every day, at first he might say thank you. But give it time. After a few weeks, it's not a gift anymore. It's an expectation. That's what happens when you keep rewarding silence. Your attention loses value. It stops feeling special. So the first step, though it sounds simple, demands strength, real strength. You have to stop feeding her silence. Don't text her just because you're bored. Don't call because she didn't. Don't step into her inbox unless she steps into yours. Let the silence breathe. Let it stretch. Let her notice the space you used to fill. Because silence, when intentional, is loud. When she's used to you being available every moment, and suddenly you're not, something changes. She starts to notice the emptiness. She begins to wonder what happened, who you might be talking to, or what you might be thinking. That curiosity is powerful. You're not punishing her, you're protecting yourself. Because every time you fill her silence, you lose a piece of your own self-respect. But when you stop, when you finally let that silence sit between you, you communicate something far stronger than any message could say. My time and energy aren't free. They're earned, and they belong to those who value them. That quiet power changes everything. Now, the next move, match her energy. Relationships are mirrors. When one person gives and the other only takes, the reflection starts to distort. The balance breaks. She doesn't lose interest because you're kind or because you care too much. She loses it because your effort feels one-sided. You're sprinting while she's barely moving. Here's the golden rule. Match her pace. If she calls, call. If she texts, text. If she invests effort, meet her halfway. But if she pulls back, don't chase. You're not proving loyalty by overextending yourself. There's a fine line between showing interest and begging for attention. The first comes from confidence. The second comes from fear. When you're always the one reaching out, you're not showing interest anymore. You're trying to buy affection with effort, and nothing kills attraction faster than that. Matching energy doesn't mean being cold or distant. It means being balanced. Picture a dance. If one person keeps moving while the other stands still, it's not a dance, it's desperation. But when both move in rhythm, it's natural, effortless, alive. That's what balance looks like in connection. When you start mirroring her energy, two things happen. If she's genuinely interested, she'll lean in. She'll text more, call more, and match your pace. If she isn't, her lack of effort becomes painfully obvious. Either way, you win. You either restore balance or you see the truth clearly. Most men never realize that when they do all the chasing, they take away a woman's chance to invest. She never gets to feel the anticipation, the excitement, and the reward of making an effort. Matching her energy fixes that. It invites her to take responsibility for her part in the connection. And don't forget, women respect men who respect themselves. When you mirror her effort, you teach her exactly how to treat you. Equal effort, equal interest. That's how attraction stays alive. Next, you have to reclaim your emotional control. Think about how many times you've sat there, staring at your phone, waiting for her to reply. You send a message, and now your mood depends on her response. If she replies fast, you're happy. If she takes hours, you're anxious. If she doesn't reply at all, your confidence starts slipping. That's how a man loses control of himself, one unread message at a time. Here's the truth. The moment your emotions depend on her attention, you've given her power over your peace. She didn't ask for it, but you handed it over. You've let someone else control the steering wheel of your emotions, someone who isn't even driving the relationship. And that's what weakens you, not in her eyes alone, but in your own. Women are intuitive. They sense when a man's confidence is anchored to their attention. They can feel when your mood shifts with every text. That kind of dependence doesn't make her want you more. It makes her step back. Attraction doesn't come from neediness. It comes from composure. A woman wants a man who can stand grounded, who doesn't crumble when she goes silent, who doesn't let a text message decide his worth. So take back control. Stop waiting on that phone screen to validate your day. Focus on your world, not hers. Go train, work on your goals, read, meet your friends, build something that fulfills you. Redirect that attention inward, because when you stop orbiting around her, she feels the shift. Suddenly, you're not always available. You're not checking your phone every 10 minutes. And that distance, that calm detachment, it creates curiosity. She starts to wonder what changed. Who has your attention now? That curiosity often pulls her closer. But even if it doesn't, you still win. Because instead of wasting emotional energy chasing validation, you're investing in yourself. Your happiness should come from your own growth, not from her replies. Remember this, you are not a slave to a notification. You are a man with purpose, drive, and direction. Keep it that way. Now, let absence do the work. Most men forget that nobody can miss what's always there. If you're constantly texting, constantly checking in, constantly available, she'll never feel your absence. And if she never feels it, she'll never value it. Attraction grows not just in presence, but in space. Think about your favorite song. If you played it every single day, eventually it would stop feeling special. But give it a break, and when it plays again, it hits differently. That's how presence works. When you stop flooding her with attention, you give her room to crave it again. A lot of men fear this step. They think, if I don't text, she'll forget me. But the opposite is true. If she forgets you that easily, she was never invested in the first place. Giving space isn't punishment, it's clarity. It reveals how much she truly values your presence. When you stop filling every silence, she has to decide, does she reach out or let it fade? Here's what often happens. When you pull back, she notices. The good morning texts she used to ignore, suddenly they're gone. The calls she never appreciated, missing. And in that absence, she starts to feel something unfamiliar, the loss of your energy. She wonders what happened and whether she might have taken you for granted. That's when effort starts showing up. And if it doesn't, then your silence just saved you months of chasing someone who never cared. Either way, you win. Absence creates clarity. It reveals truth without confrontation. Next, test her interest. Sometimes it's hard to tell where you stand. She never texts first, but she always replies. She answers when you call, but never calls you. So is she into you, or is she just keeping you around as an option? The answer comes when you stop carrying the whole connection on your shoulders. Ease up. Don't text her every morning. Don't be the one making all the plans. Just pause and watch. If she cares, she'll notice. She'll reach out. She'll put in effort because she doesn't want to lose what you have. But if she doesn't, her silence will match yours. and that silence is your answer. It might sting to realize she's not that invested, but it's better to face the truth than to live in confusion. Testing her interest isn't about playing games. It's about letting her actions speak. Because actions always do. If she wanted to text, she would. If she wanted to call, she would. If she truly wanted you in her life, she'd make space for you there. So stop guessing. Stop making excuses for her lack of effort. Observe, and when you see the truth, act on that. If she shows up, great. If not, walk away with your dignity intact. Finally, raise your standards. This is where everything changes. If she never reaches out, never initiates, and you keep holding on, the problem isn't her anymore. It's you. It's the expectations you've set for yourself. A man who respects himself doesn't